No, and from some of the videos I've seen, there did seem to be an element of troublemakers, opportunists who came to these protests just to loot, and I don't think they were at all concerned about the issues from the images I've seen. But I think we're going to see a lot more here, and in the meantime, we've got the Irish police investigating, reportedly, UFC fighter Conor McGregor's social media posts following concerns about rising hate speech online after these riots. McGregor distanced himself from those riots, but has urged for change in Ireland, and he's slammed the government's immigration policies. The former UFC champion warned in a post on X, if the government do not act soon with their plan of action to ensure Ireland's safety, I will. I mean, is this an announcement, Emily, that he's going to enter politics?
Well, it does look like it. This is a man, he's a mixed martial arts fighter. He's got an absolutely enormous following in Ireland and, of course, around the world too. And he's been very vocal since this all erupted about Ireland's migration policy. He clearly believes that the Irish government has got it completely wrong. He clearly has absolutely no respect for the Prime Minister in Ireland, Leo Varadkar. So maybe he is setting out his stall to get involved in politics. But what's interesting is now the Irish police are now investigating his tweets. And Leo Varadkar has made it very clear that he wants to tighten up hate speech legislation as a result of what's been talked about since this horrific knife attack and the subsequent riots that we saw. And this is what always happens with our Western leaders. They see people get angry on social media, often about issues to do with migration. And what is their first response? We must clamp down on speech. That is not how a government should be dealing with these issues, which people feel very angry and feel very motivated about. So I think this is completely the wrong approach from the Irish government. I think Conor McGregor, we may well be seeing more of him, but I imagine Leo Varadkar and the Irish government are going to try and do as much as they can to put a lid on him and stop him from tweeting so much to his massive audience.
Now, talking about Leo Varadkar, he's pledging to expedite those laws you spoke about online hatred, online speech. He's told a press conference that I think it's now very obvious to anyone who might have doubted it that our incitement to hatred legislation is just not up to date. And this is a sinister little explanation from Irish Senator Pauline O'Reilly about how these laws will restrict freedom for the common good. Let's have a listen.
You will see throughout our Constitution, yes, you have rights, but they are restricted for the common good. Everything needs to be balanced. And if your views on other people's identities go to make their lives unsafe, insecure, and cause them such deep discomfort that they cannot live in peace, then I believe that it is our job as legislators to restrict those freedoms for the common good.
Emily, that's disturbing. It's Orwellian, enforcing laws that make it illegal to say things that some may feel is offensive, that could cause discomfort. That was her explanation. Is that really the way to go? And will these laws be supported? That's the important thing. Will the Irish people back this proposed legislation?
You know, I thought we had individual rights. I thought we'd agreed on that in liberal democracy, that the rights of the individual must be upheld. Clearly, they're not. It reminds me of the pandemic, this idea of common good. So, you know, vaccine passports, very highly restrictive lockdown in order for the common good. And then you forget completely about individual rights and their right to expression, their right to freedom of speech. These are fundamental for a functioning liberal democracy. And this woman, she may feel genuinely that she's doing this for the common good, but what right does she have to talk about how we need to clamp down on people's basic individual rights in a liberal democracy to express themselves freely if they are not inciting violence? That should be the threshold. And I worry that Ireland's threshold is going to get lower and lower and lower, and people will have their speech fundamentally restricted.
Emily Carver, thank you so much for your time today.